All right, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about a really powerful mental model. Think of it like a system upgrade for your brain, one that helps you tear down problems and build real innovation from the ground up. This isn't just about thinking outside the box, it's about rebuilding the box itself. And really, it all kicks off with this one simple question. How you answer this, well, it gets to the very core of how you solve problems, whether you're just making small tweaks or creating something brand new. This is basically the diagnostic test for your entire thinking process. You see, for most of us, most of the time, our brain's default setting is over there on the left, reasoning by analogy. We look at what other people are doing or what's been done in the past, and we basically copy it with a few little changes. It's safe, it's easy, but it means we also inherit all the old mistakes and limitations. The system upgrade on the right is a totally different way to operate. First principles thinking just ignores the how it's always been done, and instead asks, what's actually fundamentally true here? So what does this upgrade actually look like? It's really a two-step dance that's as simple as it is powerful. You've got to deconstruct things, break them down, before you can reconstruct something way better. So here's the core idea. It's about playing two roles. You're part detective and part builder. First, you have to strip away every single assumption, all the common knowledge, until you're left with just the bare bones, undeniable truths of a situation. The physics of it all. Then, and only after you've done that, do you start building a solution back up from that rock-solid foundation. And this, right here, is the big payoff. Iteration? That's just repainting an old car. Innovation is taking that car, breaking it down to its base metals, and seeing if you can build a spaceship instead. We're not talking about a 10% improvement here. We're talking about finding a path to a 10 times better result. Okay, so let's look at probably the most famous example of this whole idea in action. And honestly, it just brilliantly shows how much power this way of thinking gives you in the real world. For decades, the entire aerospace industry was running on this one single assumption. Rockets cost an absolute fortune. And why? Well, because they always had. It was just accepted as a fact of the market. But here's the thing. It wasn't a law of physics. So you had everybody else looking at the existing crazy high market price and reasoning by analogy. But Elon Musk, famously, just tossed that whole idea out. He asked a completely different question, a first principles question. He didn't ask what a rocket costs. He asked what a rocket is physically made of. He broke the problem down to its essential parts. A rocket isn't some magical, expensive thing. No, it's a collection of materials. You've got aerospace-grade aluminum alloys, some titanium, copper, carbon fiber. So he just went and looked up the prices for those raw commodities on the open market. And this is the critical part, the big aha moment. It wasn't about finding cheaper aluminum. He realized the problem wasn't the stuff itself, it was the system for putting the stuff together. The insane cost was all tangled up in the way things had always been done, the manufacturing processes that everyone was just copying from each other. And the scale of that inefficiency, it's just staggering. When Musk actually added up the cost of all the raw materials, he found they were only about 2% of a rocket's typical price tag. That means a mind-blowing 98% of the cost was just waste, just inefficiency baked into that old analogy-driven system. By building a new system from scratch, he could go after that 98%. Okay, so that's an incredible story, right? But how do you and I actually use this in our own lives? Let's get practical and talk about a little drill you can run to start installing this mental upgrade for yourself. The entire exercise really just boils down to this one thing. You have to become a ruthless filter. Social truths are the things we believe just because everyone around us believes them. Actual truths are the things that are provably, physically real. Your job is to dig through all the assumptions to find that bedrock of solid fact underneath. And here is a super simple 3-step method to do exactly that. I love this. Think of it like putting your own beliefs on trial. Step 1, list out every single assumption you have about a problem. Step 2, apply the filter. Ask yourself, would this hold up in a courtroom? Is it a law of physics, or is it just an opinion? And then step 3, whatever's left, whatever survives that tough cross-examination, those are your new building blocks. Let's make this really concrete. For literally centuries, the assumption was you have to carry heavy luggage. It was a social truth so deeply ingrained, nobody even thought to question it. But what were the actual truths? Just simple physics. 1, luggage is heavy. 2, wheels are really, really good at moving heavy things. So by breaking it down, the solution becomes obvious. You're no longer focused on how to carry the weight better, you're just focused on combining those two truths. You attach wheels to the luggage. A simple idea that changed travel forever, all because somebody ignored the assumption and started with the facts. So when you start doing this on a regular basis, you're not just solving one problem at a time. Let's zoom out for a second and see what you're really building here. You are creating a repeatable engine for coming up with brand new solutions. And this quote just absolutely nails the final point. Reasoning by analogy is like going to a used car lot, finding an old clunker, and just giving it a new coat of paint. Sure, it might look a little better, but the engine underneath is still old and flawed. First principles thinking is about ignoring the used car lot completely, going straight to the source and building a brand new, high-performance engine from the absolute best materials you can find. So we'll leave you with this final thought. It's really a direct challenge. The power of this whole model starts by applying it to just one thing. So ask yourself, what is one social truth that you've been accepting without a second thought that you can put on trial today? What's yours?